Ladies and gentlemen, so it's been a pretty exciting 18 or so hours for Marvel Contest of Champions news. There's like 5 kind of big-ish things today that I want to talk about. Some of these are very, very unexpected, especially the first 2. So let's talk about the headlines. So the headlines for this, Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk, they're getting a champion update beta, and hopefully a very, very big buff. The second thing is there's going to be a brand new Marvel Contest of Champions arcade game coming exclusively to Dave & Buster's, and this is going to have exclusive trading cards, so those are going to be hopefully pretty badass as well. Quite a bit of information on that. There's also going to be a brand new event coming up mid-month. I believe it's kicking off on what is it, the 4th of February, so yeah, very, very soon, in a couple of days time. So we're going to be celebrating the Year of the Pig. There's going to be a login calendar and also some additional rewards there. There's also going to be a new Alliance War matchmaking system, which starts with next season, which is going to essentially group the matchmaking. Instead of like queuing and you get matched, it's going to be in a 4-hour period there. And the final thing is that if you missed it, the first look at Havok was posted on Marvel Contest of Champions social media, and he's looking pretty interesting. The sound effects are so cool, and the special free animation looks pretty badass as well. And the final thing is that Havok is also confirmed going to be a mutant character. Not really too much of a surprise there, but just something that Otrix sent over this morning. And the Prestige, I haven't looked at too much 4-star Prestige recently, but that does look pretty high there, so a bit of a curious one. So those are all of the headlines. But anyway, let's talk about, you know, what's happening in a bit more detail with every single one of these things and what to expect for them. So we got the Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk beta. This was actually shown. A few people were a little bit confused because they received this yesterday. It went out kind of by accident there. It was confirmed on the forums, but then a few hours later, this brand new announcement came up about the beta test potential changes to both Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk there. So they're going to have 2 science champions, and I think this is kind of to prepare for the Woman of Power, because usually there's a bit of a reason why they are buffing certain champions that they need to kind of justify in terms of, you know, the champion department to the business end of it. So this one is probably going to be something related to Woman of Power offers. They're going to sell some bundles to get these 2 characters, and hopefully the buffs are going to be really, really good, because She-Hulk is in dire need of a buff. She's one of the most useless champions in the game. She sucks. Spider-Gwen, I was a little bit surprised to see that she's getting buffed over other characters, because Spider-Gwen, she's still, like, not the best champion by a landslide, but she's also nowhere near the worst at the moment. Like, she's got some fairly okay damage output and a couple of interesting things she can do, but she is, at the same time, definitely in need of a big revamp if she wants to get anywhere near the top. And I think one of the interesting things as well is that with the Venom and Carnage revamps, not only did the characters themselves get revamped, but also the synergies. And I think with Spider-Gwen, there's an interesting opportunity to not only touch on Spider-Gwen, but also look at, you know, Miles Morales. Maybe there's going to be a synergy that makes him very, very good as well. Maybe OG Spider-Man, Symbiote Spider-Man. So I'm very interested to see kind of what gets changed with the champions themselves, but also with kind of the synergies. Because, yeah, I think I'm most excited, you know, I love Spider-Gwen, man. I've got 5-star Spider-Gwen on both of the accounts. I got 5-star She-Hulk on the main account. So this is like absolutely amazing news for me, especially on the free-to-play account where we've got, you know, like 2 rank 4 science gems, and Spider-Gwen is trash at the moment for the most part in comparison to some of my top options. So if she gets buffed at a really, really decent champion, she's definitely going up to rank 4 on the free-to-play, maybe rank 5 there. But essentially the beta is going to be starting on February 18th and running till February 22nd. On Monday, the February 4th, a select group of summoners that have one or both of these 2 champions are going to receive an in-game invitation to take part in the beta test, and then you have 3 days until the 7th of February to opt in. It's an invite-only beta program. They're only going to be taking feedback on the forums, and that is pretty much it. But I think with like the Venom and Carnage one, there was no like non-disclosure agreement or private agreement, and I don't believe it mentions anything about it here. So yeah, I think you should maybe be able to post some gameplay footage. Hopefully we can get some information on, you know, at the very least at what these buffs are going to be, so we can cover all of that on the 18th of February. But yeah, looks pretty cool, man. I'm very interested to see both of them, and fingers crossed, you know, maybe we might get added to the beta this time as well. Now, next up, as we talked about earlier, thanks to Kid City, we found out that a Marvel Contest of Champions arcade machine is coming to Dave & Buster's, and I did quite a bit of digging into this machine because I was very, very curious about it to kind of get all the information there. So this is kind of an enlarged version of it. You see it has like a few controls there, so I'm not really too sure, because there's a very, very similar one of these machines, and it is the Injustice one. It looks like it's got slightly less controls than the Injustice one, and I'm not really too sure how it's going to work in terms of the gameplay, because you can see there are two controllers. Maybe there's going to be like a Battle Your Friend mode, but also maybe like a bit of a adventure, a bit of a story quest mode as well. It looks to have the timer. As you can see from the artwork, you've got Cap Infinity War, Iron Man Infinity War, you've got Hulk, and a few of the other kind of Infinity War based characters. They've got an Infinity War based promo there. You also have this take cards section, which the Injustice one, as I mentioned earlier, does give these exclusive, very shiny trading cards, which look really, really badass. Somebody did a bit of additional digging. Massive shout out to Kissam, who sent me this from one of Dave & Buster's business pages. So basically in the final one, it's kind of talking about their 2019 expansion. So in addition to VR games, Dave & Buster's also posted strong revenue from new non-licensed licensed titles, blah blah blah, but it will also launch a Marvel Contest of Champions arcade game. The title was originally introduced as a mobile fighting game in Q1 that is exclusive to the chain and includes collectible cards only available at Dave & Buster's. So yeah, this is going to be exclusive, at least in the US and Canada, to Dave & Buster's, but I'm not really too sure if we're going to see this international, or if, you know, the exclusivity has like a certain range, because looking on like Dave & Buster's, sorry, what is it, the Raw, I think is it Raw Elements that make this in terms of the designer? Sorry, Raw Thrills, that's the name of them. So I think they were selling the Injustice one on Twitter, so there is maybe a chance that in the future we could see this a little bit more widespread, but this is a Marvel Contest of Champions machine, a very different game that is going to be added, to the best of my knowledge, to 121 Dave & Buster's. So yeah, should be really, really good. Obviously, it's been a great couple of years for Marvel. The Marvel arcade games at the moment aren't really all that great. There's an alright Spider-Man one in Dave & Buster's, but I think this could be really, really good for Marvel Contest of Champions, because it's, you know, a free advertisement, something additional for the fans whenever you go to Dave & Buster's, and I'm really, really excited to see the cards. And also, I've made contact with the person who posted this image to Reddit, and also some people that work in Dave & Buster's as well. So hopefully as soon as this gets added to the stores, we can get some exclusive gameplay from this, have a little bit of a look at the cards. But I really hope there's something a little bit special, a little bit interesting, a little bit rare to some of the cards as well. And maybe there's like a super exclusive character or code or something like that. You know, even if it is just kind of a 2-star, 3-star trophy champion. But knowing the price of, like, you know, paying for an arcade machine, and you know, it's going to be like a few bucks, and they're not really going to offer, I would assume, anything that great from it. But the cards, I don't know, they should be a nice little collectible for the fans, so I'm interested to see the Marvel Contest of Champions version of these. But yeah, overall, man, it seems pretty cool. Hopefully they've got some of those at New York next year, so we can, sorry, this year, so we can all play them at Comic-Con. That'd be very, very fun. Getting drunk and doing that after the convention would be an absolute great time. Now, the next thing is that on Monday, the Lunar New Year event calendar is going to start. It is the Year of the Pig. So inside of this 14-day calendar, there's going to be just under 2,000 5-star shards, and also some greater envelope tickets, and some lesser ones, some additional hero crystal shards units, and the greater red envelopes in previous years have awarded relatively often like a fairly decent stack of 5-star shards as well. There's also going to be a Lunar New Year Alliance gifting event. So So this one previously has had nothing to do with spending at all. It's just been like gifting free stuff that you get from logging in. So yeah, really, really good stuff. There's going to be some Alliance Revives, health potions, greater red envelopes, so even more chances at 5-star shards there, and tier 2 alpha catalyst fragments. So yeah, it's basically like a couple of weeks of just additional free stuff on top of logging in. Very, very cool event. Very much looking forward to that one. Also, the new Alliance War matchmaking system. So as soon as Season 8 starts, it's kind of summarized in this post here. But essentially, as soon as the matchmaking window begins, there's going to be like a 4-hour period that you've got to queue, and everybody gets kind of put into the pool and matched with a much more relevant alliance instead of just searching for the next available alliance. So this is something that's been, you know, very long overdue. YouTubers such as Legacy have talked about it very, very recently, actually. So yeah, this is a very, very good change because it kind of stops like insiders, moles in certain alliances, kind of tipping other alliances when certain alliances are queuing so that they can, you know, avoid the challenging matchups and kind of prey on the weaker opponents. So it will be a lot fairer, and hopefully this is going to allow kind of the top alliances to actually come out at the top, because that's, you know, if you've been following it, there's been quite a bit of drama between like NY and MMG, and, you know, NY being accused of planting moles in various alliances, and, you know, almost like the video is very, very convincing if you've seen it. So yeah, a bit of an interesting one there, but you know, after next season, man, that's it's all to play for, ladies and gentlemen. It is all to play for. So yeah, very curious one there. And again, finally, as we talked about earlier, Havoc is going to be the next champion coming. He's going to be a mutant, and I am really looking forward to him. So we still have, you know, nothing on like Alliance Quest Map 7 yet in terms of the release date for that. Act 6 is probably just around the corner as well. We've got the new monthly event, so much stuff is coming. And then after that, we got Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man. Like, it's a crazy, crazy year for Marvel Contest of Champions. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on all of the stuff in the comments below. Are you excited for the She-Hulk buff? Excited for the Spider-Gwen buff? I am very excited for, you know, to see what both of the buffs are going to yield. But aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.